A sunny day foreshadowing spring is a new variable in a pandemic that continues to evolve. Warmer weather should mean less indoor transmission of viruses, but spring also brings more socializing among Canadians.
We know we're heading into the period where the transmissibility will decrease, and we know we need that social connection.
In BC, groups of up to 10 people can now gather outside with distancing. In Ontario, some gatherings like weddings can now be held outside with up to 50 people. Cautious first steps to making life normal again, but with the worry that Canadians will let their guard down.
We're all anxious for the finish line on this long marathon. But right now, racing towards the finish could cost us the success we've worked so long and hard for.
What could undo the progress we're making are the new COVID variants. They're now responsible for over 40% of the cases in Ontario. While the reproduction number for the early variants in the province has fallen below 1, which means it's going away, the R number for the new variants is above 1, meaning transmission is increasing. So while the rate of infections with the early virus has been coming down for several weeks, the new variants, while fewer in number so far, are on the rise, which is why the total number of cases are no longer making progress. In fact, a third wave is not out of the question.
I liken the state of the pandemic right now in Canada as a third act in a three-act action movie. In the third act, we fight the biggest foe, and so the biggest foe here is the threat of the new variants. But the end is near.
The end is near. Restrictions are being lifted. Vaccines are coming. It all potentially sends a signal to Canadians to let loose. But the cry from public health officials is not yet.
As we see those public health measures ease, I think it is really important still to be very vigilant about these variants.
Ultimately, say experts, it's up to Canadians to maintain sensible restrictions on themselves.
We can restrict our socialization sufficiently to allow vaccination time to do its job.
It's a tricky balancing act. As spring arrives, with the hope of vaccines in the air, Canadians should resist throwing caution to the winds. Eric Sorensen, Global News, Toronto.